It honestly makes me angry because it's like, Method might have won that game anyways, but don't just hand it to them.
Don't just throw away your pen.
You played great, like you did so well before. Just like, show us where that all of that improvement leads to now. Do you guys have it today? And that they just gave that away and did not watch apparently what Method did and what happened with the monkeys. It disappoints. I'm not. No, I am angry, but I'm also
angry and I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed on both. Yeah, exactly.
You'd be a great parent.
That would be amazing, Dad. That's game 3. I want to see a little bit more here. I need a better draft, and then I want to have a game on eye level. Give me a draft where on both sides you have really some strengths that you can try and exploit, like a thought process going into it. Just don't simply give power comps over to your opponent that they absolutely excel with, and that I want to see that level. Because I want to see today where we are. Is that game number 1 just where Method again had a bit of a shaky start, or is that all of a sudden something where Roll20 can show, listen guys, this is
finally clicked.
This is the first series where we are having that synergy we were talking about. Things work out, we're more on point when we're making a call, everybody follows it up, and we can win the series today because of that. I want to have an answer to that question that doesn't hinge on one team having problems.
I mean, you're going to get an answer going into Infernal Shrines. Infernal Shrines is the battleground that you cannot give that up to. We talked about where the composition is strong together, and that's when you are able to stand on an objective and actually force a fight, with Potions being shelled out, Diablo being able to control space, and then Urel making sure to land that level 4 talent consistently on that front line. And Infernal Shrines provides you with that opportunity. So we will need an adjustment from Roll20, so you better get your answer pretty quickly here, because if not, I can see another loss in the future of Roll20.
They're 1-6 on Infernal Shrines, Roll20. But again, they had a very, very tough phase so far. So
yeah.
But yeah, I want to see something now. I really want to see them playing this a bit more kind of, and it starts with a draft. It starts for me with bans. And considering that it's Infernal Shrine, I actually can see that this entire setup or the entire debate doesn't even come into question, because given the map, can totally see a ban against Diablo here.
Yeah, Diablo, even Urel, right?
Yeah.
You can take away on this battleground, so let's move into it. Infernal Shrines. Do expect the Maiev to be taken away again. Hanzo has been a clear favorite for a majority of teams on this battleground too.
Yeah, good point. Hanzo is definitely another hero that we could see very early. First Abatha. But again, I personally would be shocked if Diablo is going through bans simply, and if not, then he has to pick it up super early. Alright. If I'm Roll20, I want Diablo. Alex.
Is it Diablo or Hanzo? Because I see them picking Hanzo first.
And there's still Urel and Deckard Cain. Those are the 4. I want it to be either Diablo. I want it to be Diablo. I can see all those other 3 coming in. Thank you. Thank you so much. The problem is, no matter what else you take, unless you take Diablo or Urel, you give Method the option. I'm not saying they take it, but you give them the option to take both.
Yeah.
And that just can't happen. And now Method, they have to think about, okay, are we okay giving Urel up? This is the map where you get a bit more value out of Blaze. But Method is likely to pick maybe Urel Deckard, Urel Hanzo. Those are the 2 that I would look for. Okay, it's a Phoenix instead. You can still get something out of it. But again, the important part here was pick Urel away from Diablo. That is what Roll20 didn't understand on the last map. And here Method is immediately saying, yeah, no. We remember the games against the Monkeys. We learned our lesson. Split those 2. Never give both over to the opponent.
So what about here? Hanzo Deckard? I can see a variation of Junkrat coming in. Roll20's been favoring Junkrat a little bit more lately.
I'm okay with all of that. Deckard Cain as support is great. I could have seen them go into Hanzo. Dignitas first picks Hanzo here by now even. He has been very powerful. It's a hero that Roll20 plays. Could have totally seen a pick on that. But with Genji being open for the first time in this series, he was banned out in both of the previous games. That's totally fine with me as well. You have the Deckard Cain, great zone support here. You have Diablo. Could have seen a white main for them too. We've seen more white main play. Actually expect that on Method side, probably at this point.
Gul'dan ban. Making sure they don't have that amazing clear on the shrine. Because right now, Diablo, Deckard, and Genji, while they can hold their own, don't really clear the shrine that well. So Method trying to target those to take them away.
What I could have also seen on the side of Method instead of Gul'dan ban is a ban on Blaze. That's still the hero that I would expect to be picked by Roll20 in addition to Diablo. If Blaze would have been a Knight, then I feel Leoric becomes the biggest asset.
Harmony also has shown a lot to Haka too. Could see that.
I mean, if you want to go really old school, you would talk Sonya, but I could have seen that maybe with the Medivh as a setup, but without it, it's just not happening. Sonya has more or less disappeared in Europe.
That's what we're thinking about here for Method. Hanzo's going to be the pick, and there's White Main.
Yeah, White Main, as mentioned, still strong here, so that's kind of what you would expect here after we've seen Alex band out and Deckard away. So now I would expect Blaze to be taken. And then for Chris, what are we thinking in damage for him? Are we going to have any kind of setup with... Nah, that's not happening. I was even thinking Greyman again for a second, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
I was thinking Jaina? Rainer.
Okay, what about Jimmy?
And Leo.
Ooh, Leo over Blaze? Huh.
Well, Genji's gonna have a field day. He's happy with both Phoenix and Hanzo. Both targets he can annoy.
Can't really decide if I like that Leo, considering that Blaze was still up.
See what the final pick is this.
I mean, Muradin would be one option.
HGC.
HGC, okay, over Muradin. Method talked about this a little bit. Now they have... I mean, create some space. You have ETC with Urel. That makes it definitely a bit easier than running that ETC alone, which we have seen as multiple times for them, where they said like, yeah, it felt a little bit too squishy, couldn't do a whole lot. But that was also the map that they won with ETC. I mean, as we heard from Benny, he feels that when they have a setup like this, it can work out for them as long as they're dodging. What does the opponent have for an engage? Yeah, I can see ETC here, but I even wrote down Blaze, even though they picked Leoric. That's how set I was.
Trying to force the drafts there.
That's how set I was on them picking this. I'm still not quite sure what I think about Leoric. Leoric has more wave clear. He's fantastic for that Shrine too.
Yeah.
You can also, of course, like drain that front line. But I don't know, with Diablo, I feel like I look at this and I look at Shrine control and I don't find a good argument why you wouldn't pick Blaze here. He just feels like the hero that with his oil spill, with the flames, he has a really good control over the Shrine. You have the bunker as a great tool to keep Diablo alive and anyone else. What does Leoric offer right now that Blaze doesn't give you?
I like that if your opponent decides that they want to force a fight right then and there, Leo, with the help of Diablo getting out, can say, okay, I want to escape with the Wraith Walk, can completely walk away. Blaze might get body blocked or slowed down by Phoenix here. So Leo kind of gives you a little bit more leeway in that regard. But Blaze is definitely more protection for the team.
I mean, we're starting things up here with 80 already on Hanzo for Team Method. We're seeing Curson on White Main, Bad Benny on ETC, Adiro on Urel, and Phoenix on Phoenix played by Curson. No, the other way around. Nick on Phoenix, and Curson is playing White Main.
On the right, Zarmony on Leoric, Robodova on Diablo, Shad on Deckard, Quatnix to play Genji, and Chris delivering the pepper. That's Jimmy.
So coming back to that Blaze and Leoric discussion there, I mean, if you have Leoric, it gives you a few more options when it comes to soaking two lanes on the map. That's oftentimes a bit easier because you're in a rotation, cannot really be interrupted easily by your opponent. You have also with the drain on the solo lane, if you land that, a pretty good stand to just hold your own. And of course you can set up kills later on with the Entomb if you opt in to go for that. So we're gonna see how much that pick works out for them. Blaze again would have offered a lot for Shrine control itself, but the draft is still pretty solid that they have. Diablo on this map absolutely excels. You should be able to also zone with Deckard Cain so that especially Chris has some space with Reyna to get those auto attacks in. And in the end, it's really coming down to Method and the way that Bad Benny anchors that front line, because we've already seen how difficult it can be with ETC to create that space, since he is easily blown up, but Benny has shown several times now that he is a player who can definitely walk that line and make sure that he doesn't die to anything.
It is a tight line too. It is one that they may look like a genius whenever they walk away from a fight with a sliver of health, but it is something that if they make a mistake,
but
they will fall quick.
If you compare it to the last time when he played ETC on the map, when he was going up against this monkey setup with Gul'dan that had a Horrify, there's nothing like that. There's very little this time actually to force him into a bad spot, you know, and punish him. The only hero that he has really to watch out for is basically Robodova's Diablo. Outside of that, there's nothing that locks you down in place so hard that you have no chance of escaping there. So I think this is a bit of an easier play in terms of, it's a bit more forgiving, is probably what I want to say, when it comes to your positioning than what we've seen.
Speaking of positioning, Robodoba is trying to hold the bush here, but Bad Benny may have actually caught him out, but no, Robodoba gets out. Shan able to give a heal at the last second.
Chris actually saved him there with a penetrating round, getting the pushback. That was a close one. One more auto attack, and he would have fallen. The Flames on the way back with the heals also coming in to help him out. And then, of course, as you said, Deckard Kane. But that was really the penetrating round of Chris creating just that bit of space that Diablo needed to escape here.
Keep an eye on Leoric. Top one, he has level 1, the Austin Renewal. Gosh, I have been really enjoying that talent lately, especially if you're in a spot where you're able to bully out your opponent and control those region globes. Just keep those healings constantly going. And you can also decide that when you go into a team fight, if you have that ability active and ready to go, you can force a fight and continue to have heal kind of rolling in whenever you land that Drain Hope, and you feel almost unkillable while you have that talent.
Yeah, it's definitely the standard by now. I mean, in Europe for the longest time, it was the Consume Vitality swing instead, but then the Koreans have really shifted heavily towards Austin's Renewal, and then slowly and steadily after the mid-season brawl, most of the European players switched over to Austin's Renewal as well. But definitely a slight shift in the Leoric build that established itself over the last few months, I want to say.
Punisher will be an Arcade 1, and Method gets the jump on it here as they jump up 10-0. Roll20 doesn't even seem interested in working on this control point. Instead, they grab the Nightcap at the top. They'll have that pushing in. Leo's going to buy some time to slow down any rotation up to put some damage on that fort. And at the same time, though, they peel off Rainer, and he's gone full laner as he pushes the bottom lane.
Jimmy is giving them some pepper at the bot lane. And Genji is trying to slow down the rotation. You can see him on the minimap in that little push there. ETC goes all the way around. Great play here by Bad Benny, not going the direct path down to the bot lane. Already anticipating that there's very likely a trap set for him, so instead he goes all the way around, sacrifices a bit of time and also 1 or 2 minions. So well done by Method, playing this safe, especially of course after these rotations that they are trying to set up were already interrupted very heavily on the first map on Dragonshire and led to several kills for Roll20.
Arcane Punisher will get the entire wall in the middle lane, but nothing that's not manageable here for Roll20 Esports. Some damage on the fort too. 7 for both of our teams. And we have our change up here for Whitemane actually for her 4 and a 7. 7 going into Fanatical Power, looking to get that extra spell power. You'll lose some armor for a little bit, but if you're able to fully commit to a fight, you can dish out some pretty decent damage. But the Euro, oof.
That was interesting. It's one of those deceptive things that oftentimes happen when you go to the fountain and you tap and then you immediately re-engage and you're realizing, that's a heal over time, and I actually don't have a lot of health at this point. So that got a little bit scary for a second, but also that is a good engage because ADRD's rotation is something that Zarmany did not really see coming. ADRD already setting up for the next hit, trying to see if he can maybe get the angle, but not even the mad scientist with his degree in nuclear physics is able to get this one.
Obviously there was no solution, so we just threw away the arrow.
There is no solution for this problem.
It still cracks me up that you do a German accent when you're German.
You have to overdo it, like you have to go over the top with it.
I mean, occasionally we'll do like country accents here in America, but...
Give me one.
Yeehaw! Here goes Robodoba as I reckon he's gonna try and get a kill. The Drain Hope connects, but Pharaoh getting out.
He just sounds like a hillbilly.
That's the point.
Genji is also a little bit of a hillbilly here. A bit in the corner. Gets taken out, and that's the first kill of the game as Method is really setting up a great pressure play at that top lane, and Roll20 is taking a bit of a beating here in infrastructure, losing the entire wall and the turrets, and that also leads immediately to a loss in experience, half a level that Method needs to get the level 10s.
Good news for them is that it's going to be the bottom lane where the Shrine will be pushing in, so at least they still have some protection there to help them, but it will become an issue later on throughout the game when those forts start to become opened up. They would love to try and get some counter pressure themselves or even find a couple of kills, but with Method sneaking up on level 10, it's not looking possible. Roll20 is going to have to play a reclusive game, hang back, and actually defend their forts.
I mean, it's still fine. Yeah, you just have to play a defensive game for now, but it's not going to matter for the objective. That's the important part. What really matters here. Those 30 seconds should be enough to give you the lane experience that you need, especially with Diablo pushing out the top lane. An aggressive move here by Quarknix. Good damage against the Zero. Chris on point with those penetrating rounds here the entire time, creating space when someone wants to engage, gets a bit of extra damage in. That's the level 10s now. Hyperion being used, Zone Control, Tomb. And Tomb is definitely one of the tools that Leoric has over Blaze when it comes to those engages against heroes like Whitemane. You can really try and punish her.
First few minions go over to Method, but Roll20 looks like they do want to contest. The main issue is that they're actually missing out on Leoric, who is in the top lane, having to deal with this Night Camp. And so Roll20 is actually deciding to push out the middle lane instead and wait for Leo to get here. Robodoba steps up to try to steal a couple of minions, but it doesn't really have the power to do much.
Yeah, they're gonna let this one go. Yeah, they do. Why?
Method was just too quick to the draw. The camp grabbed the top left.
Yes, but I would be a bit afraid. I mean, okay, Diablo gets actually some value at the top lane and pushes the lane in so heavily that Method misses it. So Method is missing some experience. But I'm actually a little bit concerned for Roll20. Giving up that Punisher just like this, it feels like they think they need level 13 before they can take any kind of fight. That's how it feels a little bit right now.
And on that Ominous Wrath.
Because, I mean, it's not really like that Shrine comes as a surprise. That's a 29-second, this is 30-second timer there where it's announced. And I feel like Diablo could have rotated, sorry, Leoric from the top lane, but they didn't. So now we're seeing Method even delaying that slightly before they take it, but that could really hurt.
Roll20 actually trying to make a bit of a different play here as they group up 4 in the top lane with this Bruiser camp, intending to get this fort. But Hanzo and Whitemane are lingering by. I think come over and help with this engage too. Scatter Arrow comes out. There's an Entomb right over the wall.
He got the fort.
He did get the fort.
That fort is not going anywhere. It's going to stay right where it is.
Method chasing back Roll20, and the Punisher was finished up by Yrel, so Yrel's going to solo push with this, and Method actually gets a kill on Leo. Roll20 not finding what they were looking for. They were hoping to get that fort and get some experience. It lives just barely, but it's still there.
Yeah, and Yrel is moving through the bot lane, and there's not a lot there. I mean, that's a fort that Yrel just took out at the bottom of the map. She's going to go through the water at the keep, and no one is backing.
You're going to try and fight here with the 5v4.
Yeah, and they might get those kills, but still, Yrel is going to get value at the bot lane. There's a camp pushing through, too. Hello, team?
Curson's trying to stay alive here. Multiple members are starting to back now. Curson buying as much time as he can.
Yeah, it's about bloody time.
But here we go. This keep actually might die. This is going to be hella worth.
If you were a hero, I would just suicide for that thing now.
Might not have to. The minions. The hero minions.
Oh!
Carl! He gets it.
I mean, sorry, but that was a Roll20 move right there.
They definitely rolled a 1 on that one.
I'm heavily confused by what's going on. The late rotation or the not happening rotation from Leoric, I get the idea that you can pressure the top lane with a heavy move in, but they just dropped the keep for free. Okay, it wasn't quite for free, there were 2 kills happening, but still, in my book, that's a trade that is like hella well. I'm like, okay, you want to kill 2 of my heroes pre-10 minutes with super short super short death timers, and I get a keep for that. Not only keep, they got a fort and a keep. I am very, very confused.
Roll20 gets 4 in the top left, but still lingering experience. About 3/4 of a level. Method will now have catapult pressure too. But Roll20 finally does find that 13 we were looking for, so now they have that Ominous Wraith. Fire Stomp build starting to come together too here for Diablo. The game is definitely manageable, but you can't afford another play like that.
Yeah, that was not a great decision to make, but still, they are a level behind. There's no talent advantage for Method yet. There's a fight maybe, but Robodoba is now pinned into a corner, and he's about to lose his souls. Goes down. That's a killer. He might not be the only one. They're trying to go for Shadow, and they get him. Easy.
Atheros keeps jumping in. Quack's able to dash away. But 2 down. Diablo reset. We'll be back. 16 on the line for Method, and the Shrine's about to spawn too.
I mean, we've been asking in game number 1 if it was a bit of a fluke for Method that they were struggling there, but I think at this point the conclusion is it was a bit of a fluke for Roll20 that things were planning out well for them. I'm a bit disappointed with what I've seen on Tomb right now and on this map. This is not working as they intended. They looked very good on Dragonshy. I really enjoyed very much the way that they were moving on the map and the way they were playing. but they're making some very questionable choices now on Infernal Shrines after they had a bit of a weird draft on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So right now, Method is looking poised to take a lead in this series. They're not there yet, but they have all the cards stacked in their favor now, with them holding a level advantage, a talent advantage, and having a keep destroyed on the map. They are looking at a fantastic position to go into the next shrine here and potentially go for a second keep, since the fort in the mid lane, with the shrines now spawning, has already been destroyed too. Which gives also Method another advantage, because again, they still have their fort in the mid lane and they have a fountain there, so they can at any point during the battle reset, move back, tap the well, or even pre-tap before they head in.
I want to see if this is the time for Roll20 to finally start this fight. They're trying to get 16 in the bottom lane. They'll have that pushing in too to stop those catapults coming in. So they have put a band-aid on that lane for now. Here it is, 16. Roll20 moves forward. Drain Hope will connect. Straight on top of Ethereal. Bad Vinny on the side though with that power slide. Robodobo will be the one to start this fight here for his team.
This is the moment for Roll20 where they have to actually show something. The camera at the top lane is going to drop that fort eventually, and that will give Method another one, but that doesn't even matter. They need to get a kill. Good engage on the white lane here in the back. I'm really liking this one. And she goes down great, and Tomb and Robodobo jumped in deep to get that kill. Bad Benny is also very low, and Method is pushed back. There we go. Roll20 showing some of that spice that we wanted from them. Going in deep and finding that engage onto the support, and still fighting heavily now for that Punisher.
Amazing Tomb over the wall. They're locking a white main, have nowhere to go. Lightning Breath followed up. Genji to help secure the kill. Able to destroy her.
All right, now we're talking. This is more what we've seen in game number 1. This is more like it. Right now, Roll20 trying to build some momentum. They lost a lot of structures, they still suffered that bot lane, but they have at least an opportunity to gain some momentum. And they are close in experience already. If they drop the fort here, they are able to make it that good. Again, going on to ETC, making the same play here. He tries for the mosh pit, he gets interrupted. Great job here by Leoric and Diablo as they're going in with an Entomb and the engage. They're trying to get the lockdown here. There comes the Ardent Defender, and this might still be the end of Urel. Good engage into the wall. Down she goes. Roll20. They are like sharks right now, smelling blood in the water, going for kill after kill, trying for Curson. They trade Zarmony in the attempt here, but that was hella worth it. Taking down the fort and taking a lead in experience.
Gotta call out Shad too, setting up that play. The reason why ETC was caught out of position was because of the cube coming over the wall, revealing him quicker, the Punisher jumping in right afterwards, which allowed for Leoric to land that into him. Now, only one fort taken out, but Roll20 Esports finds themselves slightly ahead in experience now, thanks to that Punisher, as they start to open up the map. They're even making a play for this bottom fort, and with no white main being back for about 18 seconds, Method will have to play cautious. Yeah, even Urel's not even here too, so with just ADRD down, they drop a little bit of damage in, have to be careful due to minion waves not being around, but Roll20 Esports has found their footing.
Yeah, bit of a wild game, very back and forth. Now just imagine how this would look if Roll20 wouldn't have made that questionable choice earlier that led to them losing the keep at the bot lane to Urel and a Punisher moving in. They would be even farther ahead than they already are. But even as it stands, they are all of a sudden looking at an outlook where they can at least fight for this game. So this isn't over yet. Method was very far ahead, but that last fight, that really showed that Roll20 still is able to get these engages. And the tomb that Zarmony found there twice was great, and it really allows then Diablo to use the tomb walls as another stun point with his charge to go in deep against ETC, against white main, and set up these kills.
It gets even more deadly too at 20. Suddenly now Urel and Phoenix both become targets that you can try to lock that down onto. Won't be able to jump out or even drop the Ardent Defender. One level for that 20 to connect, and Method finds himself actually behind in experience. They can soak up in the middle lane though. Pretty big wave there. But Roll20 feeling confident, rotating between the map. Genji being the only one that's really splitting off.
Yeah, there we go. Roll20 5-manning it very heavily right now in most situations. Genji is usually a little bit off, trying to get some more value, but always in swift strike range where he can easily close that gap and help the team out whenever there's a fight breaking up. So they take all the camps on the map, get the experience, and they will hit the earlier 20. It's a race for the Storm Talents, where Method now has to see if they can get them in time for the next Shrine. It's likely to happen. Shrine is going to spawn at the bot lane, and that of course also means that Roll20 cannot afford to lose it. If they lose it, it's very likely game.
Half a level from that 20. Hanzo soaking in the middle lane. The longer this extends, ooh, this is great timing. Roll20 should be able to grab their 20 in time for that. Method won't even be close there.
Method has still a fort there, because Roll20 couldn't take it out earlier, so Can defend it. Hanzo isn't here.
Zarmany thinking about coming over here. Hanzo can drop the arrow from across the map. Oof.
You don't want to engage there now.
At the same time, though, it's right before 20.
But I still feel that Method can defend. If Method has to give out the Punisher, with the fort being there and the keep, they should still be able to get their own level 20 for the defense and defend. It's an arcane Punisher though, so
yeah,
that makes it dangerous. Because if Leoric lands a Buried Alive, if he lands that Entomb, then you're toast. And now Roll20 is going to get the fort even before. So you can still defend this if you're Method. But you cannot allow for Leoric to get that Entomb off that gives a kill to the red team, because if they get that kill, they can end. But yeah, there we go, Roll20. I mean, it's far from being a clean game, but this is now definitely going to be a spicy one. Method versus Roll20, game number 3, and at this point, Roll20 has taken a great position through the objective. They still miss out on the bottom keep, but they have actually a chance to not only go for keep here, but even go for core.
20 finally hitting for Method. Uriel is pushing that top lane, Hearthstoning now. 5-man defense coming in. Still a wall here for Method, so they can bounce this thing over. Try to bring it over to the middle lane, see if they can even hold a keep here. Roll20 has Hyperion though, so they can fully commit to the idea of taking this out.
Yeah, the keep should fall no matter what. I mean, it depends on the keep for Method would be, that would be absolutely incredible. But I don't think this is happening. Zarmany already looking for a follow-up here. Here comes the Hyperion. Very early even, starting to zone them out. And now Zarmany is going to look for the Entomb. He's going to look for the Buried Alive. Here comes, they're going for ETC, and they're hitting 2, they're going in, and that is a disaster for Method. Down they go. ETC is dead. Thero is put into a corner. He falls as well. The keep is about to fall. Zarmany is alive, and with a bottomless flask, Roll20 is going for the core. Method all of a sudden is about to lose game number 3. Unbelievable.
Thero was trying really, really hard there to keep ETC alive by providing him the armor, but getting caught in the Entomb himself was lights out. At Roll20 with Entombs and the ability to get the kills, will be able to go up in the series 2-1 over Method. They are 1 game away from having their first win in the HGC.
Very, very wonky game by Roll20. Some really, really questionable decisions that were made.